tell you something. Every Sunday I get on there and I'm terrified. Absolutely terrified. Because working with children, they're so different and they're unique. And I'm like, thank God I have Marcy Schneider with me. She grounds me and she fills in all the important places. Because my love and my interest is there, but not the experience. And on screen, when you have little ones, it's kind of like this. And they're moving, and the computer's moving, and it's like, oh my God! But it's great fun, and I'm glad we're doing it, and I'm so happy to be serving the children of our community. And it's lovely to have my grandchildren on there. So anyway, that's what's been happening on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. Next week, by the way, I won't be here. Tony will be picking up the baton again. And then I want you to know that it's pretty funny, we did it on the Halloween. On Sunday the 31st, a beloved member, ex-member of our community, I say ex because he's no longer a member, but Reverend Dan Granda will be with us on the 31st, offering inspiration on that day. So I thought you would all enjoy that. So yeah, so make sure you're here on the 31st. I'm sure he's going to have a large audience, and you can all, like, say hello and have your fun with him. So he'll be here on the 31st. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be talking about this. And here's what I want everyone to do in this moment. So many of you are off screen. I wish you were on screen. If you can come on screen, I'd love to see your faces. Really love to see your faces. And this is what I'd like you to do. If you're sitting down currently, stand up. Just stand up for a minute. And then take your hands into your hair or on your bald head and just kind of do this. And this so goes with Jesse's music today and waking us up. And just stimulate the body. Yeah, stimulate the body and wake yourself up. And press and tap and do all that stuff that wakes up to feel alive. To feel alive. Aliveness has so much, there's an anatomy to it. First of all, let me try to go in order. So anatomy means a study of the structure of internal workings or something. Okay? Of something. Aliveness means in a state of action, in force, or operation. Action. For a year and a half, closing on 2 years, many of us have had COVID cause us to be couch potatoes. It's caused us to be, I know, I'm just saying some of us. It has caused, I never skipped a beat. Trust me, I've been working more than I ever worked. But for many people, and some of it was to stay safe, some of it is because there was no place to go. And so for some of us, we haven't stimulated the parts of our mind and our brain and our body that is required in order for us to stay in an alive state. And we're going to talk about some of the things, but you're going to participate today. So get ready to be in the chat, okay? Get ready to be in the chat. But I want to start with a question. What does it mean to be alive? What does it mean? Is surviving being alive? When you're just surviving? Is that a state of aliveness? Is living well enough good enough? You hear that? Is living well enough good enough? Or is that just status quo? Do you have to have a mind-blowing, extraordinary life to express aliveness? That might be reaching too high, and that might be too much of a demand. Is richness a requirement? If you're not rich, can you still feel alive? If you're not in a relationship, are you still alive? Like, think about all the things that very often we require in order to have, or to feel ourselves in being alive. So right now in the chat, I want you to put in there, what do you do to feel the most alive? What do you do to feel the most alive? Dance, peace, safety, love, creativity, all I need to be alive, okay? More, let's get more. Walking in nature, absolutely. Nature is like a medicinal salve for the soul. Walking is great. Walking is a good thing. Love and honor others moment to moment. Love that. Move my body, artistic something, create. Oh, it's going fast now. Anything in water, okay. Nature, yes, absolutely. Walking, volunteering, listening to music, singing and dancing, riding my bike. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Judy Fitzpatrick, I remember the one and only time I went for a bike ride with you all and your family when your husband was still on this earth, and Celine on some train tracks. Boy, that was a lovely experience. I've never done it again, but it was a lovely experience, and it's still alive inside of me. So there are so many things that we do to have an experience of aliveness, and it's important. And if for some reason, if anybody know when depression is creeping in? Anybody have that experience of where it's starting to trickle into your life? Get an accountability partner and have ask that partner to remind you to get up, move your body, go out for a walk, draw a picture, put music on the house. I'm sure I'm annoying my husband. You all know who he is. But now that I have this new thing in my bathroom. This might be too much information for some of you. And I have a Bluetooth speaker, thank you, Marilyn Sarnowski, for this Bluetooth speaker that's actually in the ceiling, in the light, in my bathroom. So now anytime I take a shower or I think I'm going to be there for a prolonged amount of time, the music goes on and I blast it from the bathroom. Why? Because music and my incredible, I have zero talent in the realm of music, but I have a massive appreciation. And music moves me. It moves my feet. It moves my body. It moves my mind. And it's so, yes, Neil, you're right. We have one upstairs and downstairs. So it's important to find what that thing is. Mine is music. Bill Sarnowski, his is art. For somebody else, it might be cooking. For someone else, it is physical, activity. We all have different things, but it's absolutely critical that it's so critical. We live in a holographic universe. So you might not know this, but you are all part of me. I am part of you. You are part of each other. So it's incredibly important for us to understand that as I lift myself up, I take you with me. As you lift yourself up, you take me with you. We take each other with each other. Does that make sense? So your being alive is not selfish. I want to get that off the table. It's not only is it not selfish, you are supporting humanity because people want to be around alive people. Alive people are healthier. You're healthier. If it is true, then hold on one second. Yes. If being a facet of each other is true, then we are called to pay attention because we know where we have impact. Now, it's very easy for parents and grandparents to have a sense of their impact. That's an easy place. You see an immediate, direct thing if you're awake. Hopefully, if you're awake, you see that. But in being alive and being fully expressed, then I am paving the way for my children and my grandchildren to be that way. Now, there are some of you in here, and I know this because over the years in having classes, there are some people who are still living under the lie that you are not creative. Now, I like to distinguish the difference between being creative and being artistic. I don't feel artistic. I don't have like the natural skill that a lot of people have, Evelyn and Bill and some others in here. I don't have that natural artistic, but I am creative. And embracing your creativity is embracing the breath of God as you. It is embracing God as that which moves you. That which tells you, even with our beloved Mexican expats, with Frank and Antonia, they were moved to make a major decision. And they said yes. Your yes to the creative invitation is also a critically important part of staying alive and being alive. And so I just want to mention a few different things that I believe are necessary to be in that state of aliveness. First of all, it's love. Love is so necessary. Love in all forms, whether it's love of passionate love, love of friends and family, love of and close friends, love of parents and children and grandchildren, love for humanity, love of self. Love is a very necessary component to be in a state of aliveness. We already talked about this, but creativity in all forms of self-expression. All forms. I don't know how to strike this point more strongly than I have in the past. Maybe someone here can help me out. But I've known from some research and reading and from some experts that when we are not creative, we are actually blocking a flow within us. Anytime you block flow, you are setting yourself up for dis-ease. You are setting yourself up to not have. You're even blocking your flow of love. You're blocking your self-expression. You're blocking even prosperity. I am begging you, if you do not know, actually I didn't mention her, and many of you might not know her yet, but Ann Millard here, who comes to us from Florida. Ann has an incredible business. She makes dollhouses. We're not talking about silly little dollhouses you spend a little money for. We're talking about she will take an expensive bar that she sees or that she designs and reduces it in scale to something this big. Talk about creative. I've been fortunate to see her website. And Anne, if you're still listening, put your website in there. It's going to distract them a little bit, but I want them to see your work. So that is an aspect of staying alive. Absolutely. Another part of the anatomy of aliveness is gratitude and generosity. In the course that I'm going to be offering in November, and I do hope many of you sign up and that yes, depression is self-denial. Thank you, Bill. That's right. I hope that many of you sign up for this course because it's called Create from Joy. And it's meant to be lighter, more fun. The entire time we're just going to create. We're going to create in all sorts of ways. We're going to talk about how do we create from our home, from creating order, which won't be a whole Maria Kondo thing. Is that her name? We're not going to do all that. But I have to tell you, a very personal experience I'm having. Since our home was purged and it's coming back together, the order, I feel like the breathing here is easier. There's a sense of ease in my home that I have not known that is due to order. And so for me, when order is in place, I can experience more joy. Does that make sense? When order is in place, it's when you have, and I haven't done this for a long time, thank you, God, where I don't have to go looking for my keys for 15 or 20 minutes before I get into the car. Does anybody still have that problem? It is definitely something to take care of. And because the ease creates more room for joy. And joy is definitely an aspect of aliveness. But with gratitude and generosity, again, if there is depression creeping in, one of the quickest ways to kick that crap out is to begin to give something away. Give away time, give away love, support someone else. Get out of yourself. Get out of yourself. Bill says, let the floodgates of self expression open and be free. Yes. And it does, don't weigh yourself down with, oh, I'm not that good. Oh, I don't write anything anyone doesn't want to hear. You're not doing it for anyone else. I'll remind you of a quick story with beloved Olga LeBron when she was around. And I used to do these doodles. Some of you know this. Silly doodles. I just love to doodle. And I did it with crayons and oil pastels. Remember, I'm not an artist. I'm a doodler. So I was doodling all these things, and Olga saw these doodles, and she said, and she used to have a florist, and she says, oh, we should sell the doodles. And I looked at her like she was crazy. But she took my doodles, she put them in the front window of her store, and didn't you know people bought them? But I didn't do it for that reason, because I had other doodles hanging in my office at 662 Eagle Rock Avenue. And I had some people walk in and say things like, oh, did the kids do that? And I had other people come in and say, oh, that's beautiful. But I didn't do it for anyone else. So my self-worth was not attached to that activity. It's very important that our self-worth not be attached to your self-expression, that it be free and flowing, free and flowing. Everybody, you with me with this? You get this? Okay. So I say gratitude and generosity, health, to care, to practice self-care. In your aliveness, self-care matters. Everything from physical exercise to creating boundaries. If you do not have anything that you do for yourself, that puts you way out of balance. Way out of balance. Are some of you looking at Annie's furniture? You getting to see some of it? I thought maybe you were getting to see it. She put the link in. You're just going to be amazed that this is actual mini furniture. And lastly, a beautiful relation. Yeah, I see Bill saying, wow. Yeah. A beautiful relationship with the benevolent one in any form. A relationship with God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it. And if for some reason, just say you're still here and you don't do God, do something. It could be just nature. It could be your divine relationship with nature. But all of these are aspects for you to find aliveness. I know I've lost some of your attention here. Some of you are looking at the furniture. It's fine. I told you to do it, so it's okay. But I want you to feel like, I don't know about you. I mean, I went with my son to see Van Gogh a couple of months ago. And I went to that immersion experience. Anyone else to get to see it? My God. It was like being in the painting. And just viewing, and I know Van Gogh is the only artist that I've seen of his quality that I've ever seen live, where I saw his actual painting. And I cried. When something can move you. Tell me what the paradox is, Jesse. Tell me. Go ahead, say it.
Ty and I were kind of just saying, commenting that it's a good lesson for creatives not to, like what you were saying, attach our self-worth to what we do. And so it's just interesting that when we stop, we have to stop thinking about what people will like or what will be impactful to them in
Right.
order to create things that people will be impacted by and generally will like.
Right. And yes, thank you. And what they'll like is you liking you and
Yes.
you loving you. When you walk into a room and you love yourself and you approve of yourself and you walk into the room changes, people. If there's a job for any one of us and every one of us, is to be aware of that impact and to feed the soul so that when you walk into a room, you transform the room simply from being, your beingness. If you're lucky enough to be talented, good for you. But if you are feeling down, find a way to give, which is a little bit more challenging in the virtual world. But I assure you, Joe Christiana, many of you read her article a couple of weeks ago. She has been donating a boatload of time to St. Luke's, to the kitchen in St. Luke's that feeds. Now I want you to hear this, Joe. Correct me if I'm wrong. 30,000 meals a month. Is it 30,000 meals a month? 30,000 meals a month. This is how this organization upscaled it to feed people. And COVID called them to be more. We get called. It's your yes that has you lifted out of the doldrums. Your yes is required. Oh, and here's another thing. When is the last time you learned something new? And I'd like you to put that in the chat. Not just when. What was it? What was the last thing you challenged yourself to learn? Go ahead, put it in the chat. And if you don't have something in there, that means it's been too darn long. It could be a language, it could be an instrument, it could be becoming computer savvy, because in this day and age, no matter how old we are on here, beautiful. Oh, nice. Lovely. There is, yes, lovely. Lovely, lovely. A wood carving, how cool is that? Very cool. More? Yes, beautiful, beautiful. When we call ourselves to learn something new, and I recently had to learn how to be on a StreamYard because of my Jersey Girl Wisdom show. And I'm pretty good with technology, but not, sometimes it takes me a minute. But here's the thing, as soon as you learn something new in this part of your brain wakes up. Your brain will go to sleep if you do not activate the neural pathways. You must challenge yourself. I must challenge myself. Good enough gets old. Good enough gets old. If you want to stay fresh and you want to stay live, we must stimulate the brain, stimulate our heart, stimulate our creative expression. To be alive, we have to be in action, folks. You with me? Yeah, it's learning a new city. So, I'm hoping today you learn how to get yourself packed up and down to Jean and Celine's house. And that you come for a visit and a hug. And by the way, I'm bringing 2 boxes of books because I'm purging my house. I'm giving them all away. So I have a whole bunch of books. If you are bookworms, you can come and join and take some books away. So, oh, that's cool. Yes, becoming left-handed because your shoulder. That's right. Yes. Actually, I'm going to say to you all, you want to have a practice to stimulate your brain? The next time you eat a meal, eat it with your non-dominant hand. Write a letter with your non-dominant hand. It wakes up the brain. It wakes up the brain. Okay. Let's let's metaphorically all hold hands and open your mind and open your heart and open your breath. And whether you say it out loud or you just whisper to yourself right now, whisper yes for your own attention. Let us speak yes. Yes, guide me. Yes, teach me. Yes, show me. To the power and the presence of the one that creates and recreates out of itself, I say yes. I say yes, I say yes, I say yes. Yes, show me. Yes, teach me. Yes, stimulate me. Yes, lift me. Yes, let my aliveness be very alive. Let my aliveness be very alive. So for the power and the presence of the love that I know is already here, I surrender this word as I speak it on behalf of everyone listening. Then I fully declare that we each are ready and able to allow for this movement of the creative essence of good in, through, and as us. I call this time good and so very good and feeling blessed and very much alive. I surrender this word to the law that shall have its way with us as we have our way with it. So what I remind us of, that while God's saying yes, we must give it something wonderful to say yes to. So maybe right now, let's just close in this way. Just think to yourself or say out loud, yes, I am willing. Yes, I'm alive. Yes, I'm ready to be stimulated. Yes, I'm ready to know and grow and flow. Yes, yes, yes. God, have your way with me. I'm so grateful. I surrender this word to love and to law. And so it is.